This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 847 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Dr. Gordon Chang, founder of Omega Alpha Equine, and it is all about blood building, what it is and why it is important. And we'll get right to our tip after this important message from EquiSketch Apps.
Glenn the Geek here. The life of horse person is hard enough, and we all hate doing the required paperwork, and unfortunately many of us never get around to it, and it just piles up on our desk. That is about to change thanks to the EquiSketch Records app for your iPhone or iPad. My wife and I use it to track our horses, and we absolutely love this thing. EquiSketch Records is the most thorough and complete equestrian records app on the market today. We love this app because you can track your farrier work, your dental, your coggins, medicines, worming, and so much more. And you can get reminders on your device when all of these things are due. You'll never forget a worming or shots or farrier visit again. But it not only tracks your horse, you can also manage your horse shows, including individual events. You can manage riders, including lessons and memberships, and so much more. And you can sync it between your iPhone and your iPad, and all of this for the price of a couple of cups of coffee from Starbucks. Search for EquiSketch Records in the iOS App Store or go to equisketch.com. That's EquiSketch.com. EquiSketch.com.
Month we get to pick the brain of Dr. Chang, who is the founder of Omega Alpha Equine, and we've got a monthly nutrition report with him. So good morning, Dr. Chang.
Good morning there, Jamie.
What are we talking about this month, Dr. Chang?
I think this month we'll talk about blood building and why you want to build the blood and so on, especially for competitive horses, and what is meant by blood building.
Yes, right. What is meant by blood building?
Well, usually when people say building the blood, what they're actually thinking of is to try and get more red blood cells into the bloodstream, right? Now, the most natural way of building blood would be to train your horses at high altitude. It's just like how if you have runners, for example, or human athletes, they go train at high altitude. And the rationale for that is that at higher altitude, you need more red blood cells to carry oxygen because the air is thinner. So if you train at high altitudes and then you compete at low altitude, then what happens is that your blood, for a short period of time, will have more red blood cells. More red blood cells usually means more oxygen carrying capacity, right? Now, most of us, if you own a horse, unless you have a ranch up in Colorado, it's very difficult to transport a horse up to high altitudes and train up there, right? So
correct.
One of the things that some people have done is that, you give your horse something like iron. All right. Now, the problem with iron actually it builds blood, but it increases hemoglobin production, right? But it's not necessarily increasing red cell production. See,
it constipates you too, Dr. Chang. Oh wait,
for people, yes, people will do that, but you can overcome that by increasing your intake of fiber. Now, the nice thing about horses is that most of their diet is fiber, so it's usually not a major problem.
This is coming from a woman who just had a baby, okay? So that's why I know.
And has the doctors told you to give your baby some iron yet? Are you on that product with vitamin D and iron yet?
You know what, Dr. Chang, you haven't invented a prenatal vitamin yet. When Omega Alpha has a prenatal vitamin, I'm on it.
We do have quite a bit of vitamins in our human line. But anyway, I was just going to say, I remember when our kids were that age, the sun rose and set whether Junior had a ball movement or not. But anyway, I shouldn't digress so much.
I think Jamie's going through that now.
Yes.
He proved.
And then when you sit down amongst your friends and you're chit-chatting, it's always about whether Junior had a bowel movement or not, or the quality of the movement. It is a terrible phase of life.
We'll have to talk about this after the show if you can.
That's right. We shouldn't digress that much. Anyway, but getting back to that hemoglobin problem is that the iron alone, there's a lot of products out there that just contain iron. Now, iron, as I said, will increase the body's production of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein that actually carries oxygen in the red cells. But here's how it works. The hemoglobin has to be packed into the red blood cells, and then the red blood cells float around, and then it picks up oxygen from the lungs and carries it to all the different parts of the body. But the key here is that the hemoglobin has to be packed into red blood cells. Iron does not necessarily instruct the body to form more red blood cells. It increases hemoglobin production. So what happens is that you want something that will actually increase the production of red blood cells. Then the hemoglobin, there's somewhere for the hemoglobin to be packed into. So that's why we've put together a product called Hemex. And what that will do is that it will increase the body's, it sends signals to the bloodstream, to the bone marrow to say, hey, we need more red blood cells, and it will increase the red blood cell production. However, this product does not work like EPO. EPO is a drug it's a banned substance. The herbal product Hemex, what that will do, it'll increase the red cell production, but it'll only increase it to the high side of normal. It will not put it to the region which is way over normal, right?
So this is why Dr. Chang, Lance Armstrong did not use Hemex, because
he did not use Hemex. He was using the drug, I think.
Yeah,
and I have to say, I think because I really don't know what he was using.
Well, the blood transfusions alone were enough. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, but he was not using Hemex because Hemex is non-testable. It won't push them over the edge. Who could benefit the most by using this? Race horses or eventers or Western horses? Who?
Any horse that will do a lot of cardiovascular. So you have the eventers, you'll have the race horses, you'll have the standard bred. Even your regular trail riders will probably benefit from that. The reiners will probably benefit from that. The barrel racers will probably benefit from it, because I've seen these barrel races. The poor horses, they come like a bat out of hell, but they're sprinting for that period of time, and then they do repetitive races during the day, right? So if you have better oxygen carrying capacity, you better your performance. And most people will know the difference between first place and second place, right, can be a fraction of a second, right? So it doesn't take much to push you into that first place. Everything has to be firing right on the day of competition.
It sounds like this would be a great product, too, for a horse that is at a hunter-jumper show and stands around and goes to work and then comes back out and stands around and then goes to work, just to help keep kind of things level in the bloodstream.
That's right. Hunter-jumpers will do very well with that, because it takes a lot of energy to jump. Right, and again, energy, to produce energy, you need to maximize the oxygen carrying capacity in the blood. So, I mean, lots of different horses can use it for different competitive situations.
Now, Dr. Chang, does it change kind of all of a sudden when this horse has more red blood cells and more oxygen in the blood? Does it change their mental state at all? Like some horses really need a kind of pick-me-up, and some horses, like my horse Jet, we just want to calm him down. So is this going to be something that's going to affect his attitude?
No, it doesn't affect the attitude. Just because it increases your red cell count to the upper side of normal. You're not pushing him, to be a hyperactive horse or anything like that, right? You're just basically increasing. It's not affecting the mental state, right? It's just affecting the ability of the horse to do things, because it increases the red cell count in the body.
Gotcha. So like when I put Jet on Biotic 8, he actually improved his behavior because he was not deficient in one place or another. It actually kind of leveled things out. So maybe this is something that would actually kind of help a horse's attitude because they're not pulling from other places in their body to try to get things there.
Definitely. It makes a huge difference as far as the performance side goes. So, and as I always say to people, every little bit counts for when you're talking about performance.
Well, Dr. Chang, where can people find it? Where can they go to find it?
Our website is OmegaAlphaEquine.com.
And that's a wrap. To listen to more tips on everything from barn care to websites for horse people, just go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they really do make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of Equisketch.com. Equisketch is our favorite because they made the Horse Radio Network app. Just go to your iPhone or Android app store and look for Horse Radio Network, then download the free app, and you can take the Horse Radio Network podcasts with you wherever you go. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.